Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to wherever you're watching around the country or indeed the world to Formula One 2017. This is the Apex Rear Wing Championship and it is the title decider. My name's Stairs and it is my absolute delight to welcome Madbird to the commentary box for the final round of this particular championship.
Absolutely, just like the real championship, ending the season in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. Very excited to be here, Stairs. Thanks for having me along.
Oh, absolutely my pleasure. Look, there we go. That's the cars starting off their warm-up lap. And
nearly a bit of contact there between the Ferrari and one of the other cars.
Yeah, well, it's a twilight race as the real life one is, so maybe visibility a little bit more difficult than normal. But there's your front row. Stairs from Xeris, a fairly familiar sight there. Now the championship maybe the hopeful, starting out of third place ahead of Bagsy. Rambo for Ferrari, that's his best qualifying effort I think in this championship, ahead of Goofball Antics. Roadhog and Madbird starting out of 8th place. Bang in 9th ahead of Baker. Baker's not his best performance in qualifying so far, and Desamage a little bit off the pace as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Baker, one of those drivers though that, you know, he just sort of keeps his head down, stays out of trouble, and he seems to make up positions hand over fist. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him at the top end of the standings at the end of the race, Stairs.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that it's overstating the facts to say that that Baker absolutely despises these cars and can't wait to race something else, if I can get my words out. That's the Drivers' Championship there. Stairs leads by 10 points over Nether, so the equation is, if Nether were to win, Stairs needs to finish third, and then they'd be tied, and they'd go back to countback or pole positions or whatever ends up being the deciding factor.
Let's just hope that doesn't happen so we don't have to deal with it.
Exactly. It would be rather confusing. There is the McLaren of Goof, and McLaren fourth in the Constructors' title. An average performance with Williams absolutely dominating there with the two-car team. Mercedes just went with the one car, and Renault in third.
Yeah, so Madbird, the sole Renault driver, managing to keep his team up there in third, which he'd probably be happy with.
Sole in this race. Pablo did race in some of the other rounds of this championship, but has decided not to race this round. There's the confirmation of the tyres everyone's starting on. Just Goof, Madbird and Baker running the harder of the two compounds.
Yeah, no one on the the ultra softs, so everyone going to be doing at least a sort of mid-stint length.
Someone's knocked over a bollard there.
That hasn't taken long, has it? They're all lining up. We've got Baker, Bang and James a little bit tardy.
They're a bit out of order. Desamage driving off the circuit at the final corner there as they made their way on.
Here we go though.
That's the lights for the final time here in the Formula One 2017 season. And we are racing, and a cloud of smoke erupts from our 10, 11, 12, however many cars we've got. The two Williams fighting each other, and Stairs swoops around the outside there, and it's Xeris in second. Nether was challenging his Williams teammate for a moment there, and he really needed to do that. Here he's coming under pressure from Rambo down into the chicane.
Yeah, just not quite good enough there to get the job done on Xeris. Xeris is, of course, we know, a force. Nether, though, is having not a great start. He's down into fourth, although he's going to get that third position back from Rambo. Rambo with a very wide line through the hairpin. But the Ferrari with that little bit of extra grunt and a bit of a toe, he might have a dive here into the turn at the end of the straight, Stairs.
I would suggest he would. Rambo with an absolutely mega start, and this is all helping the front to stretch their lead. This is exactly not what Nether needed. He really needs to win this race with Stairs finishing third or worse. And they're just taking time off each other, hand over fist here, and this is giving Bagsy an incentive to, he's going to try and go 3 wide down there. He thinks better of that one, and Nether gets the place back up into third place, but the front two have bolted.
Absolutely, and it looks like James is having some dramas there, or maybe got a little bit deep on the left-hand corner.
Like that, he's made positions up off the start.
Yeah, he's managed to make a job done on Baker and Bang by the looks of it. Rambo now all under pressure from Bagsy. Bagsy wisely not sending it up the middle back at the end of the back straight. But they're now coming around towards the last section of corners and the start-finish straight. Xeris there, still hanging on to Stairs, although Stairs does have probably a good 8/10 of a gap there from first to second.
That's a bizarre old situation for Zirus. Does he want to help his teammate Nether, or does Nether, well, so far 5 seconds adrift? I don't think it's going to enter into the equation at the moment unless Zirus has a bit of a nightmare from here. But nonetheless, they have stretched out an enormous lead after one lap. But look at this train developing behind Nether and Rambo. They're all gonna get positions basically if they. Oh, and there's a spin there. There's a spin there.
Rambo.
That's Rambo. Spins out there, and look at the positions that he's gonna. I was just mentioning how many positions
Oh
he's gonna lose. It's a dangerous place to reverse, my friend. And we see a few cars avoiding action, just recovering to the road there. Now this is Roadhog putting the McLaren of Goofball Antics under pressure. Down the inside, can he outbrake the McLaren? The answer is no, he can't.
Yeah, that was Rambo. Not sure what he was thinking. Nearly reversed into the Toro Rosso of Bang. So far, apart from at the front, or rather from the front down, positions haven't changed very much. Everyone's sort of still holding station. The only person who's made a move, other than Rambo, who's now fallen back down through the field, James has managed to get that job done on Baker and Bang. Otherwise, everyone's still.
Oh, that's a spin there for
that's
the
going to change.
That is definitely going to change. There goes the Renault of Madbird making up the position. We haven't seen too much of him, just sort of keeping his nose clean. And there's a Ferrari now. Is that Rambo or Roadhog? It's been a difficult couple of corners for the two Ferrari drivers. I believe number 5, that is.
I think that's Rambo.
Recovering there. Let's see, just behind D-Simage, if we can find him. Yes, it is Rambo, and I think he's carrying a bit of damage there. Zero sets the fastest lap of the race, and Bang now having issues. So a lot of cars struggling in the early laps.
Absolutely, yeah. Just I'm not sure what happened to Rambo to pick up that damage. Maybe he clouded the wall somewhere, trying to push to get back those positions. He'd be gutted. Very good qualifying from himself for this race, as we got
and early laps.
Absolutely, yeah. And we got Madbird under all sorts of pressure here from the McLaren and Goofball right down the inside. No problems at all. Madbird not really contesting that position, although he is still on the back of Goofball and will have a good run on him through the main straight.
Well, those two on the same tyres as well.
Both on softs,
on the harder tyres. So that actually puts him in a pretty good place race-wise as we look towards the battle for the lead now. Zirus putting Stairs under some pressure, and he'll have DRS now. It is active on the 3rd lap of the race, and he's going to try and swoop down the inside here at the end of the back straight. Stairs doesn't give him a lot of room. And Zirus just loses it on the curb there, and Stairs with a bit of breathing space now as we cut back to this other battle that's going on between Goofball and Madbird. Side by side, exact same scenario, but it looks like Madbird... Oh no! A late move there from Goofball Antics. Tried to stick his nose up the inside and it's stuck. But Madbird is fighting back around the outside. Not an inch given, not a quarter given, and Madbird stays ahead.
Jesus, that was some edge of your seat stuff there. He was right on the racing line. Was Madbird. Goofball was throwing it in every direction he could to try to get an advantage. Managed to get up ahead, but just didn't have that traction on the marbles on the inside. Here we see Zirus, just gets a little bit of oversteer as he comes through the corner, getting squeezed a little bit by Stairs, but all good racing. Zirus still in 2nd. He wouldn't be happy with that, Stairs.
And Bagsy, it's a bit of a lonely race after the early part where everyone was concertinaed up in that little train, but he's starting to put...
is this Zirus? This is Zirus! He spun at the hairpin
he's going to lose a position to his teammate, is he?
No, I think that he's gotten enough speed there coming off the hairpin. He's going to hang on to it, but he has dropped way back. He was right on the back of Stairs, so that is going to be... He's going to be kicking himself in that cockpit. Stairs just spins it right around.
Rear lock.
Absolutely. So
Nether, like a record, baby.
Absolutely.
So that's not good news for Zirus. Now, what does that do to Nether? It's almost like Nether's lost a bit of time being distracted by his teammates spinning, and Bagsy's he's falling back into the clutches of Bagsy as Goofball and Madbird. Ding, ding, ding. Round 2 of their little tussle. Looks like Goofball's actually got back by Madbird.
He has, but Madbird is now going to have DRS and slipstream up this back straight, so it's a really awkward part of the track to pass on that main straight, because if you don't get it done decisively, then they're going to have a go at you on the next one. And Goofball's gone very, very deep. Little tap there from Madbird, I think, as he came around and said, take the corner a better next time, matey.
Yeah, Captain Cook sailed wide there, and through went Madbird, and thank you very much indeed. I will continue to...
What? He's managed to stick it up the inside in the last sector, and he's hung onto it.
My goodness.
Madbird trying to go around the outside. This is some unorthodox but interesting driving going on from Goofball. He's managed to hold on to the position. That is not usually an overtaking position. Madbird must have gone very wide.
Very much so. I think Goofball just with a lot more confidence into that particular corner on the brakes stole it back. We're going to possibly see a replay of there's Goofball sailing wide, as I mentioned before. And there goes the indigenous population of Australia back through. But then Goofball says, I'm the first fleet and I'm coming through, whether you like it or not.
Yes, indeed. Everyone wearing clogs. Nether here under pressure from Bagsy down the main straight. Bagsy going to have a go down the inside. That's a lot of pace. That is an incredible amount of pace. He's managed to get it stopped.
How?
I don't know how he managed to get that stopped. Nether's going to have a much better run through the second part of the chicane. DRS to help. So he's going to have this position back, I'd expect. But I've got no idea how Bagsy got that stopped at the end of the straight. That was a colossal amount of speed.
That was a masterclass in braking from Bagsy there, getting that stop without locking it up. It was nothing short of... that's a little wiggle, just like Jeff.
And that's all it takes. Just a tiny bit of... He lost traction for just a second, had to lift off the brakes, and Bagsy's through. Nether will be kicking himself. He managed to hold on to that position grimly through the previous couple of corners, but Bagsy now manages to slip through. And I reckon we'd be looking at pit stops pretty soon from the Super Soft Runners Stairs.
As you say that, you have absolutely called that one bang on, my friend. And Xerus, the first man in to change his Super Softs for a set of Super Softs. He's done it again. He's done it again. Just like in Coda, he's gone for the same tyre. That means, ladies and gentlemen, that he has to make another pit stop.
No, 2 races in a row he's done this. He will not be happy with himself, I imagine. All the way down this little hill and through this tunnel and up the other side of the hill, he is going to be absolutely livid in that helmet stairs. That is 2 times. Tiny brain fade, huge consequences.
Yeah, that'll make him more irritable than spaghetti. But he's coming under pressure now from Goofball Antics, who hasn't made his pit stop. Of course, he should, in all good consciousness, be able to stretch an advantage over Goofball as they have different tyres now. As we start to see some of the other guys making their pit stops, Decimage opting for a set of softs, which is good because it means he'll be able to go to the end of the race on those tyres.
Absolutely. So this has all meant that Bagsy is now in pretty serious... As James has an interesting encounter with the wall. Bagsy has a pretty serious look at a podium in this race. He's currently running in second, just ahead of Nether. Here we are indeed. And with Xerus having to make another pit stop now, Bagsy is right up there in contention for a podium in this race. And if Stairs makes a big blue, he could possibly take the top step.
Comparison there between Bagsy and Nether's lap times over the last 3 or 4 laps. 4 laps, I should say. It quite clearly is 4 laps on your screen there, and Nether taking big chunks out of Bagsy in the early stages, but maybe Nether just not quite keeping his tyres in check the same way Bagsy has, because Bagsy started to stretch a bit of an advantage in recent times.
Yeah, Bagsy maybe stuck behind Nether a little bit, just was in that awkward spot where he had the pace to go faster, but didn't quite have the pace to make the overtake. So once Nether made that error, Bagsy's been released somewhat. Stairs here on the front straight, no one in sight behind him.
Sunday drive.
Very lonely, calm race for him. As we've got Rambo pitting from 9th position. Looks as if Bang DNF'd at some stage. I think we missed that.
We did, and Rambo's the 3rd man to come in to make his pit stop, and he goes to the soft tyre. That seems to be Super Soft, the preferred strategy. As Goofball Antics has lost his front wing somewhere with some massive flat spots, so that's certainly put paid to his battle with Madbird.
Yeah, definitely. Madbird currently in 6th, probably looking to take that 5th position off Xerus once he has another pit stop. Madbird yet to pit, along with Goofball, and I believe Bang was the 3rd soft tyre. That is a hefty crash as the camera flashes go. I'm not surprised.
There's about 100 hectares of runoff at Abu Dhabi, but he's somehow managed to find the place to spin where there wasn't much at all.
He's managed to find the one spot where you're straight into a wall. Baker now gaining on Madbird a little bit. No.
Early on he was.
Losing time to
Looks
Madbird.
like he's lost well, he's lost over a second in the previous lap, so that's good news for Madbird. And Baker that is a direct comparison as they're both on the same tyre.
Yeah, Baker, Madbird, and Goofball, sorry, the three on soft tyres. So I would expect Goofball will be in the pits shortly.
Well, it depends how quickly he can get around without a front wing.
That's very true.
4 flat spots on those soft tyres.
We're going to see a replay here of, looks like Rambo again.
Oh! Another rear wing, another front wing, I should say.
Now, speaking of people finding places with little runoff.
Oh, and who's that? Is that Nether or Goof or Xerus going through there?
One of the he's and straight back into the pits. They're looking at him going, oh no, this is Roadhog. This is Roadhog. Do apologise.
The other Ferrari. It's been a.
Oh, here comes Goofy. So he's currently coming through the last sector.
Well, he's gonna finally get through to. Well, he's gonna join Roadhog for potentially quite a lengthy pit stop there.
Absolutely.
I wonder if he stretched that long enough to make his super soft stint last to the end of the race.
Well, 6 laps. People have been pitting, lap 6, lap 7, and we've got 6 laps left in the race. So a set of super softs would probably do it to the end of the race. Ultra softs would be dicey. Looks as if Nether has had a pit stop at some stage because Xerus has managed to unlap himself from overtake Nether. Or perhaps that's just the pace that Xerus does have, obviously on faster tyres.
No, he was just right behind Bagsy, so I'd say that he made his pit stop. So apologies for us missing that one. Roadhog and Goofball's still in the pits. That's a very long pit stop. Race leader in. This is Stairs making his first pit stop.
60.6 seconds for Roadhog.
Potentially one pit stop there. That is a long. It's time to be stationary, an entire minute. For Roadhog. Not quite as long for Goofball Antics, 40 seconds, but it's still about 35 seconds longer than ideal.
Roadhog at least Roadhog and Goofy will at least have someone to race.
Ultra softs for Stairs, sorry.
Ultra softs for Stairs, so 5 laps he reckons they're going to last. I could see that happening. He's certainly going to be racy, and I mean, why not? He doesn't really have too much threat around him. He had a massive lead over Bagsy, who's only just overtaken him. And still has yet to pit for the first time. So if Stairs manages to keep it out of the wall for the rest of the race...
Oh, here comes Nether. He's pitting now, so I don't know what... He didn't make a pit stop before. I'm not sure why he was that far behind Bagsy then, anyway.
Maybe Xerus just had a lot of pace, or perhaps, Nether made
Might have had
an
a
error
spin
somewhere.
unseen, yeah. But anyway, he's out, and he's opted again. He's opted for Ultra Softs as well.
Yeah, so looks like it's a popular choice at the end of the race. I reckon Madbird and Baker both in the pits now.
Flurry of activity.
Both were on the soft tyres, so I reckon they would both be looking at the ultra softs as well, based off of this. And can't tell there.
Didn't quite see in that shot.
But we're going to see.
Let's have a look at
Baker's. I reckon those are ultra softs.
Yeah.
It's difficult to tell.
Yeah, the monitors in this commentary box. There's a bit of glare from the sun. I'll try and see from that angle. No, we missed it again. That's definitely ultra softs for Stairs. Look how much. That's going to be quite a pace advantage. He's just caught up to Bagsy, who's leading the race by virtue of not having made a pit stop on 8-lap old super softs.
Yeah, so definitely this position is not going to last for Bagsy. The lofty heights of the top of the podium.
Well, Stairs doesn't need to take any undue risk here, but I think he's tripping over himself behind Bagsy.
Sometimes you've just got so much pace that it's like how are you moving so slowly? And they nearly had a little bit of a touch. Bagsy now going for his pit stop. Xerus behind, but of course Xerus still has to make another pit stop. So this is sort of a false image that you're looking at, like all those pictures you see of the globe Earth. Madbird up into 5th place. Rambo with a decent recovery, really, up into 6th, considering how his race started. Although I imagine he would be on fairly worn tyres at this stage.
Yeah, Madbird with new tyres as well.
Nether. Oh, Xerus again! Oh my goodness, that was well caught from Xerus, I must say. That was
Leary moment.
One hell of a tank slapper. Bagsy exits the pits. Maintains 3rd position.
Yeah. See what tyres he's on. He started on super softs, so I want to make sure he's not.
He hasn't gone back onto super softs. Yeah, as the lights are all on and the sun is.
Not quite up to temperature just yet, man.
The big light in the sky is dimming. No, definitely not. Is this Rambo or Roadhog that we're looking at here going through the final sector?
I believe that's Rambo.
That is Roadhog because that's Goofball right behind him.
There you go. A bit late with the graphic there, Mr. Director.
So good, looking like maybe good little scrap with Goofball here at the end of the race, Roadhog. Goofball with a bit more pace in these cars, so that's something to watch towards the end of the race. What else have we got to look at, Stairs?
Well, it's all sort of settled down a little bit with the pit stops having ended. And remember, with those older softs, I don't expect him to be too much of a threat to Madbird. Madbird's kind of in no man's land. He's a fair way off those top four. As Xeris makes his second pit stop, so he's going to be incredibly quick towards the back end of the race. Speaking of quick, Stairs setting the fastest lap, and there is confirmation that the ultra soft tyres have gone on to Xeris' car.
Yep, so he hasn't made the same mistake again. He has changed his He has changed his tyre compound to the ultras. So as you say, going to be incredibly quick. Bagsy.
They don't look like ultra soft tyres. I think he might have done the same thing as Xeris. Which means that Nether's probably going to inherit third place.
Well, Xeris has managed to build a big enough gap that he's stayed ahead of Bagsy, even with a second pit stop. So Bagsy remaining in third place at this stage. And yeah, potentially if Bagsy has made the same error as Xeris, be good to see a little onboard graphic showing his tyres. Oh, here we go. So Super Softs again. So he's done the same thing as Xeris. So he's going to have to pit, which potentially will mean...
Well, we'll look at the gap, 8.6 seconds.
Exactly. So it's probably what, a good 25-30 seconds for a pit stop here with the run under the tunnel and everything. So
I'd say so, yeah, and that's actually crucial. Interestingly enough, even with that second pit stop, Xeris stayed ahead of Bagsy and Nether. So that just goes to show the pace that he had on those super soft tyres. And well, it's gonna give Nether third place, but that won't be enough for the championship for him with Stairs 25 seconds out in front.
It would have been. It's almost. I wish he hadn't made that error, Xeris, because that would have been an interesting battle towards the end of the race with Stairs. Considering the pace that Xeris obviously does have around here, Bagsy potentially looking at gifting third and fourth place to Nether and Madbird respectively, as Stairs sets the fastest lap so far of the race, 1:36.7.
Coming down.
3 laps to go.
3 laps remaining, and I guess we're looking at these guys because the rest of the cars are fairly spread out. There is Madbird, the man we were just talking about, having a fairly lonely old race at the moment because Rambo's not putting him under much pressure. Rambo, the man who had a great start and a good qualifying, and after about the first or second lap, it went downhill in the same way the downhill skier would, but with much less enjoyment.
Absolutely. There's an interesting camera shot back there with the light pole directly in the middle of the frame. That was very useful. Goofball looks like he's managed to make that position on Roadhog, so he's promoted himself up into 9th place. Roadhog now the last of our runners. I think this might be him we're looking at now, or this potentially is Rambo actually.
We've had difficulty differentiating them because of the wide camera angles today. So
they're quite similar, and I mean the helmets are both bright yellow, so it's difficult at the best of times. As very frightening entry there into that little left-right wiggle.
You just got to slam the car into the corner and hope it'll stick. It's a downforce corner.
You do. I had a very, very terrifying experience through there back in the Codemasters games. That it was pants tightening, let's say.
Oh yeah. Sphincter clenching.
Absolutely. Baker managing to hang on to 7th place so far, so that's a couple of positions that he's gained. Not the handful that I suggested at the start of the race, but still a couple of positions, especially considering it's a class of car that he doesn't particularly enjoy.
Speaking of enjoying, Stairs is enjoying those ultra soft tyres.
Definitely.
Another fastest lap, and one would think you don't need to take too many risks now, with this being the penultimate lap, I should say, of the championship. 25-second advantage. Now Bagsy hasn't taken that second pit stop, so he's clearly waiting to the last possible moment to do it. Personally, if I was him, I would have picked as soon as I realised my mistake and put the ultra soft tyres.
Oh, there he is. As you say that, he is now in the pits. After 3 laps on those super softs, would be feeling very unloved. And on go the ultra softs for 1.5 laps of glory.
He leaves a fair bit of it on the pit lane exit there, yes. On the box exit of his pit box, as we look towards James, who's not covered himself in glory in this particular race. He's actually coming under pressure here. Oh no, that's Stairs lapping him.
Yeah, so
it's not for position.
Not so much pressure, although I wouldn't be surprised if Decent Ace tried to defend that for some reason. Stairs through to lap up through 8th place inclusive. James going a little bit wide there in the last couple of corners. Yeah, hasn't really been involved with anything this race, Desamaj. Goofball had a good little scrap with Madbird earlier on, but then a couple of tiffs with the wall took him out of contention, and it looks as if he didn't have much issue dispatching Roadhog. He's now got a lonely race ahead of him, unless he can catch up to James.
There's the confirmation of the pit strategies. The two guys in 2nd and 4th, interestingly enough, those are the two who made the strategic errors, and they could both have been potentially one position each further up if they had not made those mistakes. Although having said that, Stairs has been banging out the fastest laps.
Absolutely, and Stairs obviously probably with notification from his crew that Xeris had made that error, probably put the cue in the rack a little bit. Madbird gonna remain 5th by the looks of it, not gonna manage to get that position as we've got one of the... Is this Xeris here coming across the line to take 2nd place? Or
no, the race hasn't finished yet. The leader has started the final lap, but
my goodness.
This is just... I think this is Nether coming around.
I was thinking there was very little fanfare Stairs.
There's a bit of gap. There's about a 50-second gap between Stairs and Nether at the moment.
Yeah, Stairs at the end of the 2nd straight, in sort of the last sector of the lap at this stage, so won't be long until we see him crossing the line. Xeris a fair bit behind due to that 2nd pit stop, and Nether a bit further behind again, so good thing for Goofball, Desamaj and Roadhog is that they're not going to have to do another lap.
Probably won't want to. The only blip on the radar for Stairs, I suppose, has been the race in Austria with that spin. And apart from that, it's been fairly clean sailing.
Yeah, he's certainly come to grips with these cars a lot better than everyone else, and he's stamped his dominance on it as he weaves across the line to take his, I believe, 3rd win.
3rd win of the series. There he goes.
Absolutely. It looks like Goofball managed to get that position done on Desamaj in the end. So not sure if Desamaj made an error or if Goofball was just too fast for that. But Goofball managing to recover up to 8th position, which he'd probably be happy with considering.
And here comes Xeris for the 2nd race in a row after making a strategic error, finishing 2nd.
Would be bitterly frustrating, I imagine, for the Williams driver. And the other Williams driver, Nether, here coming through the last couple of corners, looked like it was going to be a pretty good season for him. He's gonna take home 2nd place, I expect.
Yes. His closest rival was a fair way off him. I think it was you. It was Madbird actually.
Not me, Madbird the driver.
Madbird the driver, beg your pardon.
Madbird the commentator.
Of course,
is
very, very different.
Completely different person.
Completely different.
But manages to hold on to a podium position.
He says potato, you say potato. Absolutely.
So Bagsy's managed to hold on to his 4th. Madbird with a 5th position, which considering...
He'll celebrate with some potatoes.
Starting in 8th, probably not too unhappy about that. There goes one of the Ferraris, not sure which one, and Baker. And Goofball going quite slowly, hopefully not for fuel reasons, or potentially
maybe just to have a bit more time with his McLaren before the end of the season, just enjoy the moment, soak it up, Fernando Alonso style.
Looks as if Stairs just tried to go down the back pit straight and realised that there's an invisible wall there.
There's confirmation of your driver's championship and round numbers at the top, 90, 70, 50, the gaps, and Xeris dispatching Madbird to take 3rd place in the end there. And confirmation of the rest of the Drivers' Championship results as Stairs celebrates with a few donuts.
Donuts, also known as potatoes with holes in the middle. Williams with a dominant win in the end, 30 points over Mercedes, although they did have 2 cars. Renault managing to come home 3rd in the Constructors.
And of course, I'm sure they would have celebrated with some critters as well. And there is confirmation of the race classification. And, you can see the gaps on your screen there. That is pretty much all that we have time for.
Absolutely. So, it was a good season, Stairs. I enjoyed those. Some good tight racing, and some cars that we don't usually have much experience in. So it was good to see some people like, Nether and such get up there who usually aren't. And, hey, Madbird did a couple of decent results as well, which is a surprise for him.
I don't think it's a surprise at all. I'm
sure Madbird is like flapping his hand at you right now.
Yes, it is, and well, that does go to show how different cars suit different people. We've got some people just don't like the downforce cars, some people do. So different kind of results to what we see in the Caterhams, which incidentally return this year next Wednesday.
Absolutely.
For the fifth round, I believe they're up to in that particular series.
Yep, race 5 of season 7 in the Caterhams at Guapore Internacional Motorsport Park, I believe, in Brazil. So looking forward to that, Stairs.
Absolutely, and keep your eyes peeled for more dirt rally stages and season reviews, which we will be smacking your way in 2019. Thank you very much indeed for watching. My name's Steve.
I'm Madbird.
Bye for now.
See ya.